I'm Lady T506. Welcome to my channel. Hello everyone's. I am here to discuss the movie Bird Box. Now y'all, I had no intention of watching that movie because I was like, yeah, I don't really do too well with scary movies. I got enough of all that when I was back at home at my mama's house, and my brother be like, hey, let's watch this scary movie, and now I'm scared to leave the country because all these movies didn't have some crazy mess. Now mind you, it was some stuff that was like almost humanly impossible, but still made your girl a little bit scared. So Bird Box, I was like, okay, what's this all about? Now, spoiler alert. So we have Mallory. Now, first of all, Mallory, she pregnant. Now, she basically is acting like the pregnancy not even happening. You wouldn't even think she was pregnant unless you seen her belly. She's all up in her studio. She's just a painting, and the only source of food she gets is if her sister actually goes to the store and brings her food. Now, I was like, that's, that seems like child neglect right there to me, because what if sister was out of town and she couldn't bring you the food? Like, how was you gonna eat? Because she was like, okay, you bring me my food, so what's the big deal? Like, I'm like, no, we need to be calling somebody's child services or something. That was like the first strike. Then on top of that, she don't know what's going on in the world. In Russia, we got people just committing suicides left and right. Now, I'm talking about I'm walking right in front of a semi commit suicide, stuff like that. And she don't even know this is going on. I'm like, how is it that this destruction is going on over there, but you don't realize this? But she says that's over there in Russia. They ain't got nothing to do with what's going over here in the United States. I was like, okay, you keep on thinking that. Second thing, we get to the doctor's office because her sister takes her there, like, almost against her will, because, like, okay, let's go ahead and get this done. Like, she is like, most people when you're pregnant, you looking at the ultrasound like, oh, look at the baby's feet. Oh, he has your nose, all that stuff. Now, I don't know if it's because, her and the man who got her pregnant, she became unattached after that, or she was always like it. I never did get that answer, but hey, she's sitting up there like, okay, y'all go ahead and ooh and all over the baby and all that stuff. I just need to get a drink. And sorry about that. And the doctor's like, I am in the room right now, so it's time to leave. Now, as she's leaving out the hospital, the sister that went on ahead and got the car, her name is Mallory, by the way. Mallory's the one that's pregnant. It's just act like, I'm pregnant, but like, I'm not going to accept this pregnancy kind of situation. She sees somebody banging their head against the window. Now, it'd be different if, we're in a hospital and we, like, by the psych ward and, this person had a hospital gown on. You could be like, okay, this person has some mental issues. This is what's going on. But no, because we just seen Homegirl about 10 minutes prior, and she was just happy on the phone talking, giggling, and hee-heeing and all that good stuff. So she automatically knows, okay, what was going on in Russia then made its way over here. So she hightails it out to the car with her sister and like, drive. Like, something ain't about to right. So the sister's like, okay, we need to get somewhere where it's like horses and stuff. We need to get out of the city. Because at this point, we don't know exactly what's causing this. So they driving. Yada, yada, yada. You see people just jumping out of buildings, stabbing themselves. All kind of destruction going on in the background. She was like, what is going on? Well, let me see what sister's name was Jessica. Jessica driving. And she was like, what is that? Now, her eyes getting glossy and turning different colors, shades of bluish, grayish, cataractish, if you will. No shade if you got cataract. I'm just saying that's the color going on. So she trying to drive the car over the ongoing traffic. And Mallory's like, no, we not finna do that. The car flips. She's all stiff in the neck. Car rolls over. Just decides to get out the car and, walk dead. Like, this accident rolling over the car didn't kill me. So I'm going ahead and walk over here in front of what I believe is a garbage truck. Now, Mallory's like, oh snap, what's going on? So, she didn't got out the car. People are running in stampedes. somebody is helping her but not helping her, if that makes sense. Like, they help pick her up and run with her, but like, you falling, you injured, I can't help you because I need to help me type of situation. And then we have, you know, Linda, believe that's her name. She sees this going on, so she's like, I'm gonna go help her. She leaves out the comfort of this house to help Mallory get up off the ground. But in the midst of that, something calls her to go over there and get into this car that is on fire and sitting there. She's like, Mother? And she walks over to the car and sits down. Now, her husband sees this and is mad because she went outside to help Mallory. Now, Mallory fine, but the wife is in the car as it's on fire and then it blows up. So this is when Tom comes out of nowhere. Don't even know where Tom was at. But he just like magically appeared and like swooped her up and was like, hey, let us in the house. We need help. Things is going crazy out here. So they let Tom and Mallory in the house. Tom, he like some type of ex-military. So he's like, okay, something's crazy going on. Shut all the windows. Close all the curtains. You know, this is code red, you know, danger, you know, all that good stuff. So they closing windows and stuff. And Mallory, she done just went from, okay, I'm having this ultrasound, to seeing some woman try to bust her head through a window, to being in a car wreck caused by her sister because her sister done saw some mess. Sister done killed herself, and this lady done just sat in the car casually as it's on fire. She kind of traumatized right now. But Douglas is mad, was like, my wife went out there to help your tail. Now she's sitting there crispy in the car. What you got to say about yourself? She's like, I don't know. Like, everybody's freaked out. We don't know exactly what's going on because we don't get to see what's going on. But we, you know, do some back and forth scenes type of situation. Because when the movie first started, we see Mallory squatting down like, okay, this is what we got to do. You got to keep your blindfolds off. If you take those blindfolds off, we will die, okay? And she talking to a little boy and a girl. So I was like, this is interesting because she's talking to them very harshly. I didn't know that she was very a detached type of person at the time. But we going back, we going to rewind back 5 years. So we in the house. Everybody talking, oh, my name is such and such. And this is when, what is his name? Charlie. He's, you know, steps up and speaks like, you know, what's going on. They got different names in different, you know, countries. You know, it's known by different things. Basically, people seeing stuff that ain't really there. There's been mamas out there that they babies look like lobster and all that stuff. And they was like, okay, where you get all this information from if you working at the grocery store? He's like, well, I got it from the internet. See, it's always okay, just because you don't have, you know, a PhD behind your name, we not gonna listen to what you saying. So we just gonna get like, all right, Charlie, you go ahead, sit your tail down somewhere. You write your books about all these phenomenons going on. But he was actually right, but we don't want to believe him because he worked at the grocery store and he didn't get no type of degree or anything like that. So they just side-eyed him like, really? But I'm like, how could you explain all these people just out here just doing some mass suicide type of stuff? Can you? I don't think you can. So now I'm kind of like forgetting because DB Wong was in there. Is that his name? Let me not mess up this man's name. Yeah, DB Wong was there. He's the owner of the house. So at one point it's like, okay, we're going to look and try to figure out what these things are. So take me to this chair and I'm going to look at my security footage to try to figure out what this is. Even through the security footage, because you see some leaves just a blowing. And next thing you know, he in there trying to kill himself. And by the time they get to him, he done knocked himself over and bashed his head open. One point, Olympia comes in. She all pregnant. So, you know, a pregnant woman, we got to help her out. We just can't leave her out there by herself. We let her in, but it's like, we running out of food and we running out of supplies. So what exactly are we going to do? This is when Charlie's like, you know what? I worked at a grocery store and when this mess went down, I locked everything up. Okay, why you say nothing to them? How we gonna get there? Because we can't go outside and look at anything or we gonna kill ourselves. So there's like, okay, we gonna get the car and we're gonna cover it up with newspaper and everything else. And we just gonna use the GPS to get us to the grocery store. And we're just gonna use the sensors from the car to make sure we ain't hitting another car, running somebody over. They end up running somebody over because, hey, we can't see. So we finally get to the, grocery store after, the little monster thing, which we never see, is hovering overhead. So they getting everything they need. Gregory, is that his name? I know I didn't mess his name up. Douglas, my bad, played by John Malkovich. He at the alcohol section drinking all the liquor he want. We getting toilet paper and all this stuff. But I'm like, how y'all gonna get all that stuff back? It may be a good idea if we bring everybody here and set all the stuff there. But before we can do that, we hear somebody banging on the door. He talking about they tricked me. They told me to come out here. He at the little area where the semi trucks come in and bringing all the groceries and whatnot. So Tom, being the person that want to save everybody, he want to let this person in without thinking he been out here all this long time. How come he ain't killed himself by now? Well, Charlie's talking to the dude and he realized, this man, he had some issues. He was in jail, but he a good guy. He was always nice to me. But he dude outside trying to come in. So Charlie's like, forget it. And I'm guessing he was going to try to push the dude out the door, from coming in. But he ended up going outside all the way himself. The next thing you know, he done killed himself. Now, old dude that was out there is like, come on, look. Now we realize there's some people who can see and keep their eyes open and they not gonna kill themselves, but they gonna try to convince you to open your eyes so you can kill yourself. So now it's like, okay, what we gonna do? This is when I was side-eyeing some stuff because two of the people, they just hopped in the car and left. Now, I don't know where they was gonna go because one, we can't see. Y'all probably made it around the block before y'all had to get out and y'all was gone. So this is when this man, what's his name? Sorry, I keep looking at my notes. What's his name? Gary. He comes and knocking at the door. This is when nobody was asking the right questions, if you ask me, because Gary comes in knocking on the door, help me, let me in. And Olympia, the second pregnant woman, she didn't let him in without letting nobody know. Now they like, okay, we can't just be letting everybody in. They're Douglas' whole thing is, we don't know this dude. We don't know what he's about. We can't let everybody in. But they're about, we just can't leave people out. Olympia's like, I know what it's like to be out there and wouldn't nobody let me in. So, my thing was, how was it that it's been, I'm going to say, a week by now, and you was able to make it from point A, which is wherever you was at when this jumped off, to point B, which is our place. And you did all this and you didn't have no blindfold on? What's wrong with you? That's where my mind was going. But nobody was thinking that except Douglas. He didn't say those exact words, but he was basically I don't trust dude. He put a gun to dude nah, we need to kick this dude all the way out. But some old lady, what's her name? Sylvia? Was that her name? Cheryl. Clumps him over the head and we done put him in the garage. Now, Douglas been there from jump. Gary just got here, but we knocking Douglas out? This not making no sense. He talking about I was with my colleagues and we were on a train and then we made it to my colleague's house. Then some people from this psych hospital, they got loose and they took us all outside and made us open our eyes. But my friend was able to knock one to the side and I was knocking on door to door and I was like, this don't sound right to me. Not at all. So that's like, oh, okay, good. We got food, we got water. You happy to stay? This is when everybody started, well, not everybody, the two pregnant women, they didn't went into labor at the same time. Now, I forgot to mention that Mallory, she picked up some birds while they was at the grocery store. And when the old dude was up there trying to get them to open the door, the birds was going off. So, okay, when something fit to go down, the birds will let you know. I'd heard that before, when something fit to jump off, the weather get crazy, the animals start acting crazy. Now, I don't know how true that is, but this is what it's saying in the movie. So, Mallory upstairs in labor, Olympia upstairs in labor. We got Tom up there helping. We got, what's her name? Cheryl upstairs helping. But the only two people downstairs is Douglas and Gary. And Gary get to bringing some pictures out. I'm like, what you got going on? I don't know if it's what the monster is or what his interpretation is, but he get to putting the birds in the freezer, open up all the windows, and Douglas like, what you got going on, dude? Like, no. Then he didn't open up the garage where Douglas is. So Douglas got to close his eyes because he don't want to kill himself. Everybody, they done had their babies. He goes upstairs, can I see the babies? He looking at the babies, looking all creepy, and I'm looking at him like, what's going on, dude? Tom then went downstairs and like, now Doug was trying to tell him this food and put the birds in the freezer. He got them pieces of paper and all that stuff going on. Let Douglas out right now, Tom. I don't know what you thinking, but when you seen them birds in the freezer, you should have let Douglas out, and y'all should have went out Gary. But Gary upstairs opening up windows after they done just freshly had their babies. Doggone it, Mallory and told Olympia, close your eyes. But she was like, what? And then looks. So next thing you know, she's fresh from having this baby. She runs full force out the window, second story window. Now she dead on the ground. Cheryl got some scissors in the head, and I was like, all right, Cheryl, I see what you're doing. Me and we right here, boo. But no, she gets over there, instead of stabbing doggone Gary, he pries her eyes open. And like, you couldn't, while you got there right before the prying of the eyes, you couldn't like stab him. But no, she didn't. Her eyes and got pried open, so now she's stabbing herself in the neck and everything. I'm like, really? Like Tom had already got knocked out at the time. I forgot to mention that because I just did, because I was all in the movement. But anyways, so now Douglas, he didn't come upstairs. He got the shotgun. He trying to shoot, but he can't open his eyes because all the windows is open. Douglas and Gary, they get to wrestling. They fall downstairs. Gary stabs Douglas in the chest. Thomas sitting there, he finally coming to. And they fight over the gun. He shoots and kills Gary. Goes upstairs with a doggone blanket. Covers up Mallory. Like, hey, everything's alright. So now, it's her having to take care of two babies. One which is hers and one that was Olympia's. So now we see them jump 5 years in the future. They out getting the supplies. So I was like, how many supplies have left? Like, it's been 5 years. Like, what y'all gonna do? Excuse me. At one point, they got a radio call, which how's the radio? The walkie-talkie still working, but it was like, we got shelter here. It's down the river. It's gonna be scary, and somebody gonna have to open their eyes going down this river. So there's like, okay, we gonna do that. We gonna go to this place. They say they got shelter, so we just gotta go on one last run and get some supplies. Well, turns out there's still people out there that I guess they are immune because either they have mental issues or they so messed up and did a whole lot of crazy stuff that whatever they seen is not affecting them. So they got the two kids, Mallory, yeah, that's right, Mallory and Tom. They out there with the two kids, which is named boy and girl. I'm like, really? You done had 5 years to name these kids, and the only thing you can come up with was boy and girl. But anyways, before we had got to that, Tom had got on her because he tried to tell the kids about playing in trees and hanging out with other kids. But like, they ain't never seen another child before. They ain't never seen a tree before. They ain't never played before, because if you get too doggone it, I'm guessing she was thinking of like, these kids need to be on alert. They don't need to be knowing about playing and all that stuff. He's like, you need to be a mama to these kids and name them. Don't call them boy and girl. But then, you know, they kind of made up. So these people to come along. So now Mallory and the kids, they trying to scurry off, and Tom got a gun and he blindfolded. I forgot to mention that everybody, you got to be blindfolded when you go outside. So I was like, that is very tricky. You be blindfolded, you got these two kids, what you gonna do? So Tom was able to shoot people, and finally he just like, forget it, took his mask off and shot the last person before the whole crazy eyes, I'm gonna make you kill yourself, took over, and he killed himself. Mallory gets home with the kids. She sits there for a few minutes, like, all right, that's what we're gonna do. We finna go on a trip. We're gonna be on the boat. I'm gonna need y'all to stay quiet and keep your blindfolds on at all times. You understand? All right, little girl, you hold this box of birds. Boy, you know, you sit there and do this. They get in the boat. They rolling down the street. Now, she blindfolded the whole time. And in the midst of getting there, some random fool jumped out like, open your eyes, it's fun. So she had to like shank him. Little boy and little girl fell out the boat at one point. They had to put him back in. All their food and the warm clothes and blankets got tossed out. Then it was like, okay, now the rapids are coming up and somebody got to open their eyes. And it can't be me because if I open my eyes, we all dead. Little boy, boy was like, I'll do it. She's like, I'll tell you who does it. And the little girl was looking like, I know it's going to be me. Y'all can't tell me that little girl didn't have that look on her face. But she was like, you know what? Nobody's going to open their eyes. We just going to roll down this river together. So they rowing, going through the rapids. At one point, little boy and the girl fall out. She fall out. But don't nobody drown, which I thought was very strange. See, now these kids ain't never had swimming lessons. And we in rapids. Little boy, he was able to, you know, call out to Mallory, which nobody called her mama. They called her Mallory. The little girl somehow got ripped from the thrown to the shore, and she's still holding on to them birds. Well, I guess it was strapped to her. So now we going through the woods. We can't see because we blindfolded. She falls down this terrain, and when she comes to, little boy and little girl, at one point, the little girl got out of the boat when she wasn't supposed to, and she drew her off somewhere. I forgot that. But anyway, back to the... She calling out to the kids, but the monster is in her voice talking about something, take your blindfolds off. And they like, I thought we wasn't supposed to take our blindfolds off. I thought it was dangerous. See, this is when you need to have signal with the kids. Like, hey, to let you know that this is safe, we're going to have a code word. Like, take your blindfolds off, 1, 2, 3, 4, or something like that, so you know it's me. If I don't put that 1, 2, 3, 4 on it, or clap my hand 2 times, that ain't me. Don't take your blindfolds off. But she's like, leave my kids alone. She called, boy, girl, use your little bicycle, doggone bell, do something. So finally, she finds them. We walking. We hear the birds. That means we close to wherever it is. Whatever spooky thing in the background is steady making noises, so they can't hear the birds. Where the birds at? The birds is over there. So they finally get there. She banging on the door. Whatever the thing is, right on their tail, like right at the back of her neck, trying to get her to open up her eyes. And that's what got Tom, because it said, hey Tom, open your eyes. He turned around, got his tail. But anyways, they get that bang on the door. They finally let him in. Let my kids in. If anything, let my kids in. So let them in, they open their eyes. Let me look at your eyes. All right, your eyes good. Let them in. It's a place for the blind people. So that's the sanctuary they at. They got a little thing outside that's covered in like branches and vines and stuff where you can see a little bit out of the sun, but you can't see the little monster thing. And they there to help. Who shows up over there but her doctor in the ear? It's just like, hey, y'all, long time no see. Who are these two? I'm girl. I'm boy. And she looking like, really? You ain't named them kids? I knew you wouldn't have to write in the beginning. Ooh, excuse me. So then she's like, this is my daughter, Olympia. Which Olympia already said I want her name to be Cinderella. Or you can call her Ella. And this is Tom. It's like, oh, these is my kids. I was like, you ain't showed emotions none this whole season. Not season, this whole episode, this whole movie. And as soon as them kids was almost gone, this is when you showed emotions. I guess better late than never. So y'all, that was the Bird Box. I guess the birds in the box let you know what the danger was. But we never saw what the danger was. We seen leaves of rustling. We heard noises, but we never seen what the doggone monster was. So that was the gist. If I left anything out, by all means, drop it below. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're returning, you one of my people, you one of my families, welcome back. Y'all have a safe and happy new year, and drink responsibly and be responsible. This is Lady T signing off. Have a good one.